Season 40, you're back. It's so good to see you.
No.
How are you feeling? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. It's been 13 years since I competed on Cook Island. So, a lot has changed. My life has changed. The world has changed. Survivor has changed. But I'm looking forward to coming back and see what I can do.
Let's talk about your time at Cook's Island. One of the most controversial season ever.
Yes.
Coming
Yes.
out of that, how was it for you?
Yeah, Cook Islands, the dominant theme for that season was racial tribes. They had a Caucasian tribe, African American tribe, Latino tribe, and Asian tribe. I got recruited for the show. They didn't tell us until we actually got on the island.
Really?
And when I found out, I was like, this is a terrible idea, get me off,
You did. You actually vocalized how you felt about it.
Yeah, I thought about quitting. The reason I went on Survivor the first time was I felt like there was a lack of representation of people of color on mainstream television, especially people within the Asian American community. And the great thing about a reality show is that it's not scripted, right? So I don't have to read the lines that some dude in Hollywood wrote of what he thinks an Asian person should say. I could just be myself.
Yeah.
But I stuck with the game because I figured, how often does someone from my community get an opportunity to be on television? And I played the game I wanted. I ended up winning. And it was not something I expected, but I was super happy with it.
I want to talk to you about that win. How did it change you and that experience and being a person of color?
Yeah.
How did that change you and the perspective of the game?
Yeah, I think for me it was definitely a big growth journey. Growing up, especially as an ethnic minority, I often felt marginalized. I wasn't part of the popular crowd. I was kind of a nerd. I used to get bullied a lot. And so growing up, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. And I think there are lots of reasons for that, but certainly one of them is just the fact that when you turn on the television set, you don't see people who look like you in any kind of leadership role, right? And so when I got the opportunity to go on Survivor and I won, I really wanted to use those 15 minutes of fame to do something positive. So I spoke to a lot of people of color, a lot of schools, shared my own personal journey around the kind of insecurities and social anxieties I had and that I was still struggling with even as an adult. And I think for the people who were feeling that way, it matters. If I had seen someone on television that I looked up to telling me how insecure he was growing up and struggled with these things and ultimately was able to overcome them, I think that would have been inspirational for me. So I wanted to try to give that for the next generation of Asian kids.
You're talking about bullying, and when you come to a game like this at Survivor, you do whatever you need to do to survive.
Right.
Is there any trigger points for you when you're on a show like this?
Survivor is hard because it's hard to pretend to be someone that you're not under conditions of extreme deprivation. The thing that I think has helped me actually on Survivor is the fact that I was bullied and that I wasn't popular, because I think it's made me much more sensitive and empathetic to recognize when other people are also feeling threatened or insecure. And in Survivor, you see the same people making the same mistakes over and over again, which is they're in a dominant alliance and they kind of disregard everyone else. Whereas for me, I actually just want to reach out to them on a human level, and in doing so, you end up building bonds of trust that actually help you within the game.
How are you going to deal with all the egos that are out here?
Oh, I think the more egos, the better.
Okay.
Basically, there's the island is only so large, right? There's a finite amount of space for these massive egos. And look, my biggest fear coming into the game is because I've been disconnected, all the people who know each other will form a tight alliance and just pick us off one by one, all the people who are disconnected. What I think will happen, though, is because of the big egos, they're going to be going to war against each other. That provides the opportunity and the chaos for me to insinuate myself as a loyal foot soldier, use them as shields until they wipe each other out, and then take over the game later on. How
would you say the game has changed?
It's gotten a lot faster. I think when I played a strategic game, but there was still a lot of people voting for who they liked. I think over time, the audience and the jury tends to reward people who play very strong strategic games. They don't take things as personally. So I think for me, I have my work cut out. There's a lot of new players, a lot of new winners. They grew up in a different era of Survivor. They play really hard. And the typical things around loyalty, integrity, pretty much have gone out the window.
Yeah. You've been watching it. I'm assuming you've been watching since you've been on it. Aside from you, who's had the best winning game?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think everyone has played a different game. Sandra obviously has won twice. She has a very effective game.
But does that make her having the best winning game?
I don't know. I think the best winning game is really situational. It depends on who you're playing with, what the themes are, who you start off the different tribes with. I think someone who obviously was a very strong one-time winner is Kim Spradlin. She really dominated her season. Sandra won twice. You can't argue with that. Parvati, who was on my season, came back much stronger and played a much more strategic, calculated game. And she's considered one of the best players ever.
How has it been for you to see her evolve?
It's been really cool. On the first time we played against each other, I recognized fairly late in the game how strong she actually was. And then I think what happened was she took the lessons from that game and then just turned it up on Micronesia and Heroes vs. Villains, and she's the complete package. So it's been awesome watching her just grow as a player.
Now, in your year, a lot of people talked about your abs. It was a conversation that went on and on and on. Do you still have the pack? The 6-pack? Or the, what is it, 18-pack?
The Yule of the 6 or 18-pack happened 13 years ago.
Yes.
2 kids and about 1,000 hamburgers ago. So I don't look like I did when I was 31. I'm in my mid-40s now.
You're in your mid-40s. Do you ever look back and say, whoa?
Kind of. You know, the funny thing is, the most common comment I got from fans after I won Cook Islands and saw me in real life, they all thought I was supposed to be bigger. And they're all disappointed. Every time they say, like, wait, you're Yule? Wait, I thought you were taller and I thought you were bigger and better looking. I'm like, no, actually, it's all the magic of editing, right? So, yeah.
It isn't.
I'm not a huge guy.
Yeah.
But having 0 body fat certainly helped.
So how did you prepare this time around mentally and physically, knowing what you went through those many years ago?
This time around, I think I did a much better job preparing myself. First time, I didn't know what to expect. This time I know that, how to train better using functional movements. I did a lot of work on balance. Watching all the seasons and getting a sense of how the game has evolved and the personalities of all the winners. And I think I'm just in a different place. Like, I think I'm just more secure in myself, more stable. The other thing that's going to be different, I think, for me is that because of the racial twist on Cook Islands, I felt very constrained in terms of how I played, because I felt like I was representing my whole community and I didn't want to screw it up. I didn't want to give anyone a bad name or get some other Asian kid beat up in school. So I was very careful about what I said, and I only played a certain way. This time around, it's like no holds barred, right? Like, I don't have that pressure anymore. I can play the game that I want. And I think I'm coming in with a great position because I have a reputation for integrity and people will trust me and I can use that to my advantage.
So is that what you would say is your strength going into this game?
Yeah, I think my strength, look, the currency on Survivor, the thing that matters most is trust. In a game like this, it's going to be hard for people to trust one another. If you're a returning player, obviously people are going to be suspicious of them having the big targets.
Right.
If you're a more recent winner, I think people assume that in this modern era survival, loyalty doesn't mean anything. In my case, I think people will trust me. I think that's one thing I'm pretty good at, engendering trust. And I think, again, I can use that to my advantage in a way that I think other people couldn't.
And your weakness?
My weakness? Oh, I have many weaknesses. I'm kind of frail.
No, you're not.
I am. I get hurt easily. Like, no, really. I have very thin skin. Like, my durability, I think, will be an issue.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think all around, I think I'm a pretty complete player. I think I have a strong strategic game, good social game. Athletically, as long as I don't hurt myself, I think it would be pretty strong in that regard. So, I do think that someone like me is probably more likely to win than one of the returning players, just by virtue of the fact that I don't have a big target on my back and I can go deep into the game.
Nice. Good luck.
Thank you.